Hey YouTube, how you doing? Got an interesting one today. Had quite a few different projects on the go at the moment, and lots of video footage being made, but haven't been able to put much of it together for some time. Hope you'll all forgive me for that, and please keep subscribed, I beg you. This time, however, I've just had something new come through the post, which I've been dying to play with for some time. And it's this. See that is brass powder. It's either brass coloured powder or it's actually powdered brass, I'm not too sure which. But basically the idea is you set it with either CA glue, super glue, or mix it into resin and then try it that way. So I've basically got a piece of spruce, which I actually received as a log, and I've milled it and matured it, and I'm quite proud of this little piece of spruce. And so I'm going to cut some different lines and shapes in here and try a different test with each one, and just see how it goes. Hopefully I won't use up too much of it before I come to use it, but there's a very interesting project that I've got for this. It's very nerdy, which is kind of me. Been a nerd longer than I've been a carpenter, so yeah, it's fair enough, bring the two together. But yeah, hopefully I should like it, so enjoy. Right, so I've just basically quick routed out some weird little shapes there. Do that so I can make sure that I can see you all again. Yep, got some straight lines there that are going with the grain. Got those two. Done some across the grain and started cutting a little circle out. Sort of looks like a really dodgy key if you look at it from that angle. And then did a triangle because that covers some really cool angles and different bits and pieces. So yeah, I'll quickly tidy those up and see what will happen to them. I'm going to do CA glue in that one, resin in that one, and then see which one of those two turns out better, and whichever one gets the better finish I'm going to try it in these other spaces then. Done on that one. Don't know if it'll show up or not, but that is a blob of CA glue sitting on the brass powder. Not the same. And yeah, there's my attempt. Managed to fill the triangle, got the line in that way, got the line down there. Yeah, so I'll just leave that to set now. Right, since last time we spoke, I've got this and sanded it down. I've ignored that bit because I don't want to sand it too low. Didn't feel it anyway. sanded that as smooth as I can, using a 60 grit sanding belt, zirconium sanding belt this time, trying something new. And I'm assuming it's not picking up on camera, but there's tiny little bits of sparkle going on, so you can see the brass. After this is done, I'm going to rip it straight down the middle and just see the inside of how everything's going. Yeah, so now is I'm going to put it in my vise and work up through the grits, stop about 400 grit, and then see where we are. Right, it's gone very, very thin, reasonably sparkly now, but as you can see from that bit there, it is really starting to get to a very thin layer now. I mean, that bit there is all cut at the same depth, and it's yeah, less than a millimetre now, so I didn't want to do too much more. That's up to 400 grit, so I'll take it up to yeah, go up to 600 now and see what happens. Right, that's gone down to 600 grit, and the wire wool. Don't know if that's coming up, but it's significantly more sparkly than it was before. Try and catch that there. Yeah. Ah, that's even better. You go, but it's still a very dark green. Quite a few air bubbles as well. Right. Yeah, I'll give it a bit of a polish on the polishing mops and see what we come back with, using a coarse mop, a medium mop, and then a fine polishing mop. I've only got steel polishing compounds at the moment, but it should be reasonable. Right, I've done the coarse mop, the fine mop, and the loose flat polishing mop. As I expected, it is designed for doing steel, so rubbing that last little bit away was, you know, expected. But these bits have come up sort of okay. They're a bit glistening with brass in them, which is nice, but generally they're still very, very much olive green. So there we go. Right, well, overall I'd say that's a pretty decent failure. Still, I found out some things that I didn't know before. Real shame it's still olive green. So yeah, if anyone's got any ideas on how to use this powder and actually get the brass colour to come out, because what I'm actually going, it's cold casting powder, but they say you can easily use it for doing epoxy inlays and that sort of thing as well. And what I'm going for is eventually for it to actually look like I've inlaid brass and then sanded it down. So if anyone's got any tips or hints as to how I can do that, I'd be very grateful. With the super glue, the reason it didn't work I now know is because the super glue was just too thick, and I need to get some ultra thin stuff that will just wick away into the grain on wood or leather, or indeed the powder. Yeah, so whether or not that'll work, I don't know. Might be an idea. Just for the sake of comparison. There's how that one looks, and that's the original powder. Light'd be helpful, wouldn't it? Basically it looks slightly darker than the powder. The powder's more of like a dark khaki, and the inlay is actually proper dark olive green. So yeah, if anyone's got any ideas or hints or anything that they can pass on my way, then I'd be very, very grateful. And please feel free to leave it in the comments below. I also wanted to add that any links that I do actually remember to put in the description aren't paid links or anything like that. I'm not getting paid anything at the moment through YouTube. Channel's still too small, only just begun. So feel free to click on the links, and especially if it's to Amazon or something, and it's purely just the shop that I happen to get my bits and pieces from. Thanks to all my old subscribers, and welcome to all the new ones. Hopefully I'm going to keep videos out a bit more regularly now. And thanks for sticking with me, and hopefully we can grow together in the future. Bye bye for now.